Cheers, tears as Salma arrives in Lion's Arch, May 14th by Morrow. For the first time in years, a member of the royal bloodline sits upon the throne in Lion's Arch. Today, Princess Salma and her cohort entered Lion's Arch to the cheers and joyful weeping of commoners and took the ancestral seat without a single drop of blood being spilled. The Lionguard, traditional protectors of the royal family, did not bar the princess from entering. Indeed, they received the young princess with the honour due a queen. Everywhere in Lion's Arch, commoners rejoiced at Princess Salma's arrival. White Mantle symbols and flags were torn from the city's walls, and a sense of hope shone upon the capital like a warm sunshine bursting through storm clouds. "I never thought I'd see those bloody mantle banners torn down from the walls," said Garum, a Lion's Arch weaponsmith. "Truly, this is a great day for Kryta." Few had any illusions as to what Salma's presence here meant, or that it would attract the focused attention of the White Mantle. "Let them come," said Lionguard Roshan. "I would welcome a final battle with the White Mantle. And surely he will get his wish." May 10th. Even Vanguard, adventurers, ally with the Shining Blade, by Morrow. The rumours surrounding the involvement of the Even Vanguard in the war have proven true. A member of the Shining Blade confirmed to this scribe that the Ascalonians have thrown their lot in with the Krytan freedom fighters. The Vanguard are joined by the growing number of volunteer adventurers who have heeded the call and taken up arms against the White Mantle. But do not expect to see Ascalonian armies marching through Kryta, the Shining Blade cautions. The fate of our nation lies in the hands of the Krytans. We cannot rely on others to fight our battles for us, the masked individual said. However, the Even Vanguard has dispatched their finest officers to Kryta to serve the cause of freedom. The Vanguard will serve mostly in an advisory capacity, helping to train our many new recruits. The many volunteer adventurers who have gathered under our banner will fight alongside Shining Blade forces against the oppressors. While the Shining Blade may downplay the involvement of the Ascalonians and the influx of foreign adventurers, news of their involvement has sent a wind of excitement through towns and settlements of Kryta. Many common folk now dare to hope for a better future. Alright, brilliant. Hi guys, and welcome to another video. We are back here at the Shining Blade camp here, and that's because, kind of in the storyline now, the camp was like this really exciting thing that was added to the game, and everyone was freaking out because it was the first time there'd been a significant change in the explorable area and so on with the war in Kryta. But we've kind of reached we've already reached a point in the plot where kind of this whole area becomes entirely redundant now. Now that we've got access to the keep, which for all intents and purposes kind of acts as its own like outpost, I tend to think of it that way. That's kind of the hub of all activity from now on. You will have seen in the last episode actually all like the exclamation marks and stuff everywhere over at the keep. Yeah, that's basically where you get all of your quests from and stuff. Like you'll notice, except for that starting stuff we had, we haven't really had any quests from here. So really this place is a bit redundant. However, as you can see, you can come back here and see some new stuff. Where are they actually talking? I can't see them. I'm pretty sure they were supposed to be out. Well, I don't know, it's randomised. Let's just read what Thackeray says. He says, concentrate on your target, focus on its movements. They must be in the training area, surely. Yeah, he's over here. They say, your first shots must down your foe. For once the element of surprise is lost, the battlefield will become utter chaos. Well, what if I can't do it, sir? The stakes are extremely high. If you fail, think of what can happen to those who you leave behind. Remember what you're fighting for, whether it's for the freedom of your fellow man or your loved one back home. So is that what you're fighting for, Thackeray? What about you, Lieutenant, says the recruit. Oh, wow, he basically asked the same thing as me. I'm fighting for the liberation of Ascalon, he says. Do we think he's lying there? Really? No sweetheart back home? I like this Shining Blade recruit. I like you, recruit. You ask the right questions. No, says Thackeray. Ooh, no, really? Maybe we should have brought Gwen. Mumble, I once thought there was. Ah, Thackeray, so you do care. Well, there you go. I think that's the end of this dialogue. But yeah, so this place becomes redundant. I've been looking forward kind of to showing you guys this stuff because there's no reason to come back. But there are, I think, about 6 different encounters you can see around here. And in fact, that's basically what I have no idea how long this video is going to go. War in Kryta has been a bit weird like that. Like, I have no idea literally how long any videos that I've done are going to be. But basically, there are a lot of encounters in the War in Kryta. This is just one of like 6 that will randomly happen around here. I'll hopefully show you guys a lot of those. Oh, that reminds me actually, before I forget, that I was reading through all of Morrow's war articles, what I've been starting these videos with, and essentially the first like 20 of them, like a ridiculous amount of war articles, basically all take place in the storyline really early on, like before Salma liberates Lion's Arch. And I was reading through them all today, and there's actually one that I missed that really I should have read out yesterday. So do check out the description if you want for today. There'll actually be that article there. It takes place before Salma's taking control of Lion's Arch, and it talks about how ambassadors from Elona and from Cantha basically are leaving Lion's Arch because they're scared that as soon as Salma gets there, there's going to be a lot of political upheaval, and it's going to trigger a big fight between the Shining Blade and the White Mantle right there at Lion's Arch. Of course, now in the story, Salma has come there, so we're kind of as far as the story's concerned, I suppose we're coming quite close to breaking point already. But it doesn't match up really, because there's so much more gameplay in the second half now. So kind of I've been reshuffling around the Mario stuff, but yeah, we did miss one, so check that out in the description. But yeah, there's going to be lots of these things. I'll try and get as many of them as possible, and if it happens that I'm like zoning in and out for an hour and it's just not giving me the right one, expect it in the description in a later video. But yeah, okay, so we'll be making regular stops back here. I also believe now that we've opened up the keep, this is where everybody's dialogue's basically changed, because Salma won't appear here anymore. Now that I've got my new sword, I want to find a place to stick it. So let's speak to the guys. We can actually speak to Thackeray. No, he doesn't say anything. It's a bit of a shame. See, I don't expect them to do much, but they do change a lot of the dialogue that people say. These Shining Blade recruits are as ready as they'll ever be. Kryta's future lies in their hands. One of the dialogues with Thackeray, because a lot of these new random dialogues actually deal with how the Even Falcons are sort of dealing with everyone here and training them and stuff. Master Scout Shelby.
I've heard much
Princess Salma has departed for Lion's Arch. If all goes well, Lion's Arch will become the royal capital once again. If not, Lion's Arch could become her tomb. Oh wow, what great imagery that really is if you think about the keep. Let us all pray to the sixth that it goes well. You can never actually go into the keep. I've always wanted to go in there. I always remember it's sort of this huge cavernous place with all these red carpets and stuff, but you can't actually go inside it. You can only go outside it. I'll give us a better look at it in a minute. But yeah, like nobody's here. Obviously Bartholos has moved on. Alari's still here.
Welcome, friend.
She says, there are some who speak of victory with honour. Bah, I ask you, do the White Mantle deserve to be treated with honour? Huh, maybe. Did she already say that? I can't remember how many of these people have got updated dialogue and how many don't. But it's weird because once again I find myself questioning what ArenaNet were thinking, because it's obvious that no players are ever going to come back here. The White Mantle are still formidable foes despite the many blows we've dealt them. We must continue to push and to push hard. See, also it's a bit weird. I feel like with a lot of oh yeah, so now here you can see Elder Rabney. He's actually got new dialogue for us. He's now got royal gifts written next to his name, and if we speak to him, he says, Princess Salma has entrusted me with royal gifts to distribute for donating supplies to our cause. Do you wish to donate and gain the princess's favour? Right, so he's asking for war supplies. I got one of these ages ago near the start of the Let's Play and actually never mentioned what these were. War supplies, essentially, as we go through and start killing a lot of the new enemies, things are going to get a lot harder now as well. This video, we're going to find out how actually capable my team is to deal with the new mobs. But basically, as you kill them, they can drop lots of things, greens, as I mentioned before. But one thing, though, you'll find them often dropping are these war supplies, and war supplies can be traded with various people for various reasons. So these are royal gifts. From the gifts you can get random stuff like greens and things. I'll be doing extensive coverage on what exactly we can get from them later on in the Let's Play. It could be something that I do towards the end of the War in Kryta, honestly, just so that it doesn't sort of interrupt the flow of the content. But yeah, there's all kinds of different things you can do with these, and now you will find collectors. I think he's still the original collector, isn't he? Yeah, Krytan boots, brilliant. They're not even max armor, of course we'll need these. But yeah, so basically we'll find a few collectors. I think someone else is collecting some stuff here now as well. But generally, like I say, it's a shame, isn't it? I would have liked it if maybe some optional quests were going on here, but they're just not. They're just really not. So there you go. This is the camp. I think we'll probably open a couple of future videos just coming back here, seeing what people have got to say, what's going on around here. And yeah, but this video basically, there's a lot of encounters going on, and what I really want to do spend a lot of this video doing is A, having a look at the keep. Let's do that first. Let's have a look at the keep, and B, I want to just like start walking around Kryta a little bit more, because there really are a lot of different things that we can see going on out here, and a lot of cool little things. Particularly, you'll remember it will be relevant. One of the first dialogues we saw when we were first walking to the Temple of the Aegis, that guy that was being hassled, and we ended up killing everyone, and he was scared he was going to become an outlaw. There's actually a bit of a continuation on that, which hopefully we'll see in a bit. So please allow my party to access the keep. And we get. So I hope you guys are doing good today. It's Saturday. I've had my day off. I was planning on doing this first thing in the morning, but I've ended up just like spending all day reading about SOPA and stuff. It's a bit ridiculous. So well, what should we start with talking about this? So this guy will let us back out, of course. We can speak to him. He says, with Princess Salma upon the throne, a new era of prosperity will fall upon Kryta. We got some Lionguard here. Obviously, these are the people protecting Salma. Is there a polite way to say you're out of the forest now? You can take a bath? No. It's quite funny, actually, kind of obviously in reference to the fact that they've been out in the Shining Blade camp for a while. That's actually kind of cool. We got some guys over here, some Krytans, just general Krytans. Do they have anything to say? My faith lies with the 6 true gods and with the rightful ruler of Kryta. See, they're very accepting of Cormyr as the 6th god, which is quite interesting to me. I wonder why people are so happy to just sort of accept Cormyr as the 6th god rather than and then shun away from the unseen ones so much. I guess they were quite accepting of the unseen ones as well, if you think about it. That would be a cool plot, though, actually. I would have quite liked that. Maybe at some point in the 250 years before Guild Wars 2, there was a time of upheaval in humanity where maybe some other civil wars were going on because some types of people didn't believe that Cormyr really was a god, and there were sort of questions over their religion. Which is, have you noticed how the sort of the Tyrian religion's never explicitly stated as well? Like it's not got a name, but yeah. So you got another Krytan here who says, "I'm pleased to see so many brave soldiers here in Lionguard protecting us. I only hope my skills as a healer won't be necessary. There's already been enough bloodshed in Kryta." Actually, I was wondering why these women were just standing here. Whether are they just for show? We've got another one here. I came to show my support for Princess Salma. With the 6 gods on her side, nothing can stop her ascension to the throne. Do they? Oh, they do just have random dialogue. We got any more to have here, or have we heard it all? I think we've probably heard it all. May the gods watch over you during these shrine times. Sure. Okay, sweet. So you got those guys there. They never really do anything, as far as I can see. Why did that guy just run down there? Huh, okay. And we've got plenty of people up here. I'll talk to Salma last. If I'm honest with you guys, I can't remember exactly what she has to say to us there. I doubt I'll speak to her actually in this video because I want to do some bounties and stuff first because we've got a lot to look at before. Like, I can't push the plot too far forward too quickly because there's so many little things to see. You know, anyone will tell you how quick War and Kryta can go by, but you'll miss a lot of stuff. So here we got 3 old men. These guys are hilarious and they'll become a part of War and Kryta as we go forward. Jorith says, "What among the recruits that Thackeray guy spent 2 years in the land beyond the northern Shiver Peaks training with bear people? Back in my day, we didn't have bear people to train with. We had to train with regular bears." Oh, Diddums. I'm sorry you had to train with regular bears. What days was that? Before the Guild Wars? Before the Guild Wars is a ridiculous comment because there were like 3 Guild Wars and they've lasted for hundreds of years. You guys would have been so impressed I could wrestle that bear like it was a sack of turnips. But they are all quite old men. Probably was a sack of turnips. You've never even seen a bear. That's actually an interesting point because in Kryta they probably wouldn't see bears. But I've never seen a bear in Kryta unless it's obviously been a pet of another player. Is that it? Like, these guys will have random dialogue every time we come to the keep, so whenever we come here, I'll be sure to come up and see what they've got to say to us. But they don't. We can't click them to speak to them. We've got a few guys over here, some more people training. A Shining Blade guard. Oh, so this is quite interesting. The Shining Blade training the Lionguard. One thing that I haven't mentioned much. We did that dungeon video where I talked a lot about the arms of Kryta's military come Guild Wars 2, and obviously we hear that the Shining Blade sort of ascend to be the most elite force. They're the private force. They are the ones specifically there to defend the royalty of Kryta at that time. However, we haven't heard anything about the Lionguard, and indeed I didn't talk about the Lionguard either. The Lionguard are a big part of the war in Kryta. They're essential to actually winning the war here. But they're very interesting in Guild Wars 2. Basically, obviously, Lion's Arch becomes a rogue state. Nobody really owns Lion's Arch. And the Lionguard, they do still exist, but they're not affiliated with Kryta anymore, and they're a lot more interesting with what's going on with them. There's some pretty cool lore written about them, which obviously I'm sure I'll go into that in the dungeon series as we reach that point. But yeah, they really, this is the last, as far as we know of, their last big interaction with Kryta, I suppose, because as soon as Lion's Arch is flooded, now that's an interesting thought as well. All of this, and in a few years, Lion's Arch is just going to get, well, 100 years, I suppose. Lion's Arch is just going to get flooded anyway. I can't wait for the 3rd book, the Sea of Sorrows. I can't wait for it because that's going to deal with that story. I guess we'll learn a lot more about the Lionguard at the time. Do any of them speak? Let me tell you, the day we get those White Mantle thugs to pack their bags and leave Lion's Arch was the greatest day of my life. You don't even know what I did with the banners they left behind. Brilliant. The Shining Blade are amazing at guerrilla warfare. I only hope they're as skilled at direct combat should the Mantle attack us. Here. What do you have to say? See, it's so cool, so much that they've written here. It's brilliant, but who the hell's ever going to come over here and speak to these guys? Wow, I'm spazzing out. Hey, what have you got to say? The Shining Blade are amazing guerrilla warfare. I feared I would not live to see the day when the royal family was once again welcomed into Lion's Arch. It's a true honour to serve during such historic times. Now, the Lionguard must have really hated it, to be honest. If you remember, there was that story, that quest, I mentioned it already in the Let's Play, where there was the murder at the Bergen Hot Springs and so forth. And that really, it was the Lionguard that were launching the investigation into that, and they were just constantly being blocked by the White Mantle. So it's really, I do like the Lionguard. I like how already Kryta's got so many different factions. But let's keep moving on. Let's have a quick look around. I think we've seen most of the interesting stuff. A lot more NPCs and things will appear here once we've completed War in Kryta, because essentially this is where we'll come to trade in for our rewards and get unique weapons and stuff. But we got a single guard over here overlooking down there. Those Lionguard keep complaining about what's for dinner. Clearly they've not spent enough time out in the field. A few weeks of nothing but rotten minotaur meat will make this stuff seem like a feast fit for royalty. See, this is so good. I love how much thought's gone into how these guys, these two factions who have now come together, are sort of interacting with one another. Also, I love how this guy is like looking out over the crack that was opened up during the earthquakes at the start of Eye of the North. That's really cool. And I'm sure if you go out there in the Explorer area, you could probably look back here. But yeah, okay, we can come around here. This is as close as we will get to the keep itself. It's up there on the wall. These things look so awful when you get close to them. They really do. But you will notice, actually, I was going to mention this, the banners and the flags. Check it out. We read that little bit from Morrow at the start. Look, the banners have changed. They're no longer White Mantle ones. They are Shining Blade ones. That's the Shining Blade emblem. Pretty cool, isn't it? So you'll see those. When we're actually out and about, you'll see other structures like this, other keeps, all these Krytan keeps. They're so interesting, but you can never go into them. It's such a shame. But you'll see lots of other ones of these, and you'll actually notice on those the White Mantle things are still held up, which is pretty cool. I think another really cool mission that they could have done would have been have us sort of assault one of those White Mantle keeps. That would be so sweet, but you never do. Another guard here. Dialogue we've already heard. I like this new build because I've got an actual speed boost that I can use quite a lot. She's still speaking. So we come up here. This is the door to the keep, supposedly. We can't get any closer. Nobody has any interesting dialogue for it either, which is a bit of a shame, but there you go. I mean, I never really... you can sure see into the distance from up here. Not that it will help when we're fighting invisible foes. Oh, wow, that maybe they do have unique dialogue. That's pretty cool. Is it odd that I feel less secure here in a fortress than I did in a tent out in the woods? I suppose when you've been fighting from the shadows for so long, you feel exposed when the enemy knows where to find you. That's true. That is true. Look, you can even see the lighthouse all the way over there. That's where we ended Prophecies, guys. All the way over at that lighthouse. You can also see a ship with ridiculously huge sails. That's massive. So there you go. There's obviously another keep over there, taunting us over there in the distance. That's obviously a White Mantle one. Pretty cool. I love how all the you can see all the lines as well. It's a pretty cool view. I've never really looked out that much up here. But yeah, so this is the keep. We've obviously got the inner council and stuff to speak about. I've been talking for 15 minutes though. Let's actually go out and do some stuff. Wow, you can walk all the way over here as well. Obviously this is a pretty cool look, being able to come out here. This is like the instance area, Lion's Gate, if you remember. This is the area that's used sort of as an interim zone when you're coming from factions or Nightfall and they need to use an instance area to have people like Cormyr or Togo, who, you know, are characters that die or disappear. They can actually have them out instead of just sort of dumping them into Lion's Arch. So yeah, pretty cool place, Lion's Gate, but you never really get to go there or anything. I would have liked War in Kryta to have some stuff happen in Lion's Gate, this like little town, I suppose you could call it, but nothing happens at Lion's Gate here, so I wouldn't expect too much. You just kind of get to look out over it. And of course, there you go. Oh, is this actually the gate to Lion's Gate? That's pretty cool if it is, actually. Does the guy say anything to us? Let me tell you, the day we get... Oh, never mind. You actually get some... I think that's Ascalonian runes there as well. I have no idea what that says, if it can be translated or if it's unique. That would be so cool if it was. I was actually for a while learning Krytan in Guild Wars 2 because there's so much stuff in Guild Wars 2 that's going to be written in the language. I would love to have, when I finally do get to do my content on my Let's Play of it, I can actually read and translate the signs to you guys. But I haven't actually focused on doing that for a few months. Maybe I should get back on that. But yeah, okay, so there you go. This is the keep. We'll speak to the inner council and stuff later. Let's go out to Beetleton first. And we're going to go west of Beetleton to see another dialogue here. Now, Beetleton's quite cool, actually. You'll remember in Prophecies, I came to Beetleton. I think it was the first time I came to Beetleton. And this is when the updates were like, or at least an update had happened. Well, no, mind you, that was Hearts of the North stuff. But there had been another part of Guild Wars Beyond had come out, and there was just, this place was full of people. And I always wanted someone to leave a comment. I can't remember if anyone did in the end on that video and be like, oh, whoa, why are there so many people? And I'd be like, oh, it's because, you know, it's because of the Winds of Change has started coming out. But yeah, okay, so sorry, Hearts of the North. So this guy here, Courier Falcon. Oh god, we've got to do Falcon stuff as well. I forgot about this. He says, greetings Peter Redhill, fancy meeting you out here. I've got a delivery. So this guy will join your team now that we've opened up the keep. He'll join our team as an ally quite often, and we can basically, if you escort him to certain places, he'll pay you to do it. And it used to be really good rewards you could get for this. It'd be really nice way to actually get War in Kryta goodies, essentially. It was nerfed quite shortly shortly after though, and now nobody really cares about him, which I think is a shame. Yes, I can understand why ArenaNet did nerf it, because hey, it was way too easy to get the stuff. It was, you know, more effective to do that than to do the bounties, which are repeatable quests, which I'll be showing you next video. But then they nerfed it so hard that nobody did any of it anymore. It was an interesting new way to play stuff in Kryta, you know. It was really cool. I had a lot of fun doing it. I thought it was going to be a new way of farming, a new way of doing this or a new way of doing that, but they nerfed it into oblivion, and now it's just something that nobody really gives a shit about, which is a shame. He's got some interesting skills as well. We'll see him a lot, so I'll talk about his skills later, because off the top of my head I can't remember what he's got, but he's got some cool stuff. And also you'll see that Thackeray's decided to join us. He says, oh sorry, I'm just thinking of someone else. We all know who you're thinking of, buddy. We were there the whole time, so yeah. And as you can see, pretty much everyone we're fighting now are peacekeepers. We're doing okay, or at least we did okay on that first fight there, so I'm happy about that. We're doing really well, actually. Pretty sweet. So we got Confessor's Orders is here. These are instructions from Confessor Isaiah. Remember what I said? He's the leader of the White Mantle at the moment. He's replaced Confessor Dorian. And it says, these commands will never be executed now, but the document may reveal useful information to the right person. Sweet. We're also getting fruitcake because it's Christmas and we're getting drops like that. So those things are kind of like the war supplies. They're a little bit rarer, but you'll be able to use those for other things and get. It's kind of interesting. You can sort of trade some in for other ones, and at the end of the game, at the end of War in Kryta, you'll be able to get unique weapons and stuff. But I'll go into more detail later. So we got loads of peacekeepers up there fighting Murgoyles. But I think we want to come over here. This is where the dialogue should happen. Or at least I remember. Yeah, it should happen when we come up here. It's with Farmer Fanella. I'm almost positive. Oh, well, we left Courier Falcon, so he's ran off and died. Never mind then. But I'm sure this... Oh, there should be some dialogue that happens here. Maybe I should have done a bit more research. Can we speak to Fanella? Well met, Traveller. We don't get too many visitors out here, but you showed up just in time for the freshest produce in Kryta. Right. Okay, well, I don't know why that dialogue didn't happen. Maybe it only randomly happens every now and then. I'll have to look into that. We're coming up on 20 minutes, though. I feel like I haven't done anything in this video. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, so there you go. We've learned a little bit more about War in Kryta, seen a little bit of interesting stuff to do with the Shining Blade and the Lionguard. I hope you liked the video, guys. Obviously, next episode I'll be much more in the mode and we'll be able to see a lot more of the dialogues and stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. See you next time, everybody. If there was ever a video we didn't do anything, it was probably this one.